Welcome back. We're going to talk some Major League Baseball news now. It's 2/22/20. Ew. Well, it was not a good day on Tuesday of last week, or Monday, excuse. No, it was Tuesday. Uh, for Major League Baseball fans, and a tiny sample of whom still love the game so much, despite its current dumpster fire raging all over North America. That really stood outside. That they stood outside. Excuse me. The uncivility named Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium for hours, staking out three labor negotiations and shouting the players' names as they arrived and departed. The Mets' Francisco Lindor and the Cardinals' Paul Goldschmidt were among those who waved back without getting close enough for autographs or close range photos, and that symbolized where things stand. Neither side is moving much with the clock running out. The teams have declared February 28th, tomorrow, to a deadline to sign a new basic agreement in time to begin the season as scheduled on March 31st. Which that's highly unlikely to happen. It may or may not happen. On Tuesday, the teams grew frustrated by the players' latest controller that they had suggested for the second time this month that a third-party federal mediator be deployed to expedite progress, and for the second time this month, the players passed. Hence, they'll get back after it on Wednesday afternoon. A bona fide breakthrough will require one of the two constituencies to bend sufficiently toward a realistic deal. To date, neither has come close to such flexibility. They met for only about an hour Tuesday, then caucused with their respective sides for about an hour. The day wrapped up with a smaller breakout session, which lasted approximately 35 minutes, in which MLB Players Association Executive Director Tony Clark, who did sign autographs before the meeting, and New York Mets co-ace Max Scherzer represented the players, and Deputy Commissioner Dan Hallam and Rocky CEO Dick Montfort spoke on behalf of the owners. They give in on one area, which asking for more from another. On Tuesday, such a proffer came in the form of a lowering on their lowering on their ask regarding their Super 2 arbitration class. They now want the arbitration process available to 75% of the holding between 2 and 3 years service, a drop from 80%, and an increase of the minimum salary of $30,000 per year from 2022, for which it would be $775,000 through 2026. The players who tweaked their draft, lottery proposal from putting the top 8 picks in in play to the top 7. The teams are at 4. View that as a net gain for the owners and less expensive proposition their previous proposal, whereas the owners see the players relenting on something that they don't have, the expired collective bargaining agreement gave the arbitration to only 20% of the class with 2 to 3 years of service, as they look for an even higher minimum wage and regard it as the process moving backwards. It all feels like thumb twiddling, massive wasted until real ground gets covered on the competitive balance or luxury tax, which the players assert to be a priority. They last changed their CBT proposal more than 2 months ago in Dallas, when the sides met right before Rob Manfred officially declared a lockout. At the time, they dropped their 2022 figure from $248 million to $245 million, going to $273 million by 2026. The clubs last addressed that issue on February 12th when they raised their back end caps slightly to a peak of $222 million in 2026, with harsher penalties than the expired deal for those who exceed it. If the players got the 2026 figure, the $245 million, and kept the old penalties, that would represent considerable progress. Will they move toward that direction as a signal of flexibility to the owners? Will they do it without corresponding uptick in another component? Will anyone step up ever and be the bigger party rather than team play for tat? Tip for tat, excuse me. If no one does, then the next Tuesday on the calendar will bring some serious doom with it, and that is what it can actually bring. And so I'm going to keep you updated on this developing story. Now we'll recap last night's Cavs game. The Cavs beat the Washington Wizards 92-86 here at home at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. The Cavs trailed through the third quarter, but they took the lead in the fourth and pulled away and went on to get the win over the Wizards by the final score of 92-86. Lauri Markkanen led the way for the Cavs in his second game back from injury with 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 rebound. Markkanen had 6 3-pointers in last night's game against the Wizards. C.D. Osman had 19 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Jarrett Allen had 18 points, 14 rebounds. And Evan Mobley had 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Cavs are now 36-24 on the season, and they are in a 3-way tie for third place in the Eastern Conference. The Cavs are off until Monday, when they will take on the Minnesota Timberwolves at home at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Tip-off is Monday at 7 p.m. on Bally Sports Ohio, and they will try to extend their win streak as they pushed for a playoff spot in the playoffs. And finally, the Ohio State Buckeyes men's basketball team trailed the entire second half, and they were not able to get over the hurdle as they lose to the Maryland Terrapins by the final score of 75-60 today at Xfinity Center College Park at the University of Maryland, and I think it was in Annapolis, Maryland. The Buckeyes were down by 4 at the end of the first half, 32-28. Then in the second half, the Buckeyes tried everything to battle back and come from behind, but Maryland just had control of this game from the get-go, and Maryland just went on to get the win in this one by the final score of 75-60. Malachi Branham had led the way for the Buckeyes with 13 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. Cedric Russell, 12 points, 1 rebound. And E.J. Liddell and Jamari Wheeler both had 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 assist. The Buckeyes are now 18-8 on the season, and as they will continue to push to claim a spot in the NCAA March Madness tournament. The Buckeyes will be back in action after being off tomorrow on Tuesday, as they will take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers at home at Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Tip-off is Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Big Ten Network. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scott Sports 101. I'll be back with another one of my podcasts later this week. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day and every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.